Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Topping our news tonight, an irate Uber passenger in Sarasota is charged with assault and battery after sheriff's deputies say he attacked his driver.
Deputies responded to the incident on Lockwood Ridge Road in Sarasota around 8:30 last night. That's where they found Jeffrey Ruscher with a gunshot wound after his Uber driver shot him in self-defense.
The victim of the case was an Uber driver who had picked up a couple from the Gulf Gate area. They drove from the Gulf Gate area towards their residence in Bradenton. During this time, one of the passengers became very belligerent. Ultimately, an altercation ensued, at which point the suspect in the case struck the victim.
The driver, then fearing for his life, shot Ruscher and called 911. Investigators say the victim was lawfully carrying his firearm and will not face any charges. 2 victims are free tonight after being held against their will and forced to prostitute themselves. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies say one of the 2 victims, a 24-year-old woman, came into the sheriff's station last month to report her captivity. Thanks to her report, detectives were able to execute a search and arrest warrant yesterday at a storage unit on 3rd Street West, taking Juan Cruz Jr. into custody. The investigation revealed that for several weeks, the victims were given large amounts of heroin and crack in exchange for them having sexual encounters with numerous people. Cruz also locked them in his storage unit. Additional charges are pending.
Schools were shut down in a North Florida county after 3 inmates escaped from jail. The Wakulla County Sheriff's Office searching the area just south of the state capitol for the 3 men. Right now, sheriff's deputies do not believe the men are armed, but they are considered dangerous. Other area law enforcement agencies are assisting with that search. Well, data just released shows the World Rowing Championships generated nearly $23 million for the state of Florida, more than $18 million spent on the Suncoast alone.
These numbers include spending on accommodations, restaurants, entertainment, and transportation by all attendees, teams, and sponsors who live outside of the Suncoast. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick is at Nathan Benderson Park to explain how researchers came up with these numbers.
When rowers and spectators showed up for the World Rowing Championships, surveyors were also on site, collecting data from many of those in attendance about how much money they were spending and where.
When can we do it again?
Rob Ferguson helped line up the hotels that partnered with the World Rowing Championships.
I think the whole area benefited pretty well.
September is a slow month for hotels in the region, averaging at about 65% occupancy. With the rowers and spectators in town, the Holiday Inn Sarasota Lakewood Ranch, just 3 miles from Nathan Benderson Park, was at 80% occupancy, hosting teams USA and Norway.
Some stayed out on the beach, some stayed downtown, but most of them stayed in this area.
According to survey numbers just released, 25,000 hotel rooms were filled thanks to the event.
The teams were here longer than the spectators, so the teams definitely had a major impact in the accommodation spend.
Here's the breakdown of where the most money was spent. Accommodations seeing the largest dollar amount at $4 million. Visitors spent $3 million on restaurants, nearly $1 million on transportation, and $888,000 on retail. Another area that this study looked at was how satisfied people were with the overall event. Teams ranked nearly every category above 80%.
Their average rating was 8.7 out of 10, and that was everything from the park to the event itself to the destination.
The attendee satisfaction rate was even higher at 9.1 out of 10.
We're so excited with the outcome, and we're already looking forward to hosting it again.
The economic impact goal for the event was $25 million. So while the numbers fell a little short, Visit Sarasota says they were satisfied with what this event brought to the area. Most importantly, after being able to showcase Sarasota County, they expect many events to come here in the future. Reporting in Sarasota, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Not too bad of numbers there.
And let's not forget that that event came just 2 weeks after Hurricane Irma hit the area,
right.
So that proved a big challenge for them, but obviously they overcame it in a big way. Do you see those blue skies behind Jess there? Beautiful day on the Suncoast. Here's Bob with more.
Yeah, they were lucky actually with all the storms we had this hurricane season to avoid any kind of major storm right at the event. It was pretty good timing as far as that goes. The Van Wezel webcam showing fair skies right now. A little bit of a wave and surf out there out on the bay and in the Gulf of Mexico. And the winds A little bit brisk out of the northeast today, but they're lessening somewhat for the weekend. Currently, we have lots of sunshine. Beautiful weather for football Friday night. 74 degrees right now, and the dew point temperature is at 55, which is low. And winds are out of the north at 8. The pressure at 30.02 inches, and that continues to stay high. Winds, as I mentioned, out of the north and northwest, up to 10 to 15 along the beaches, but anywhere from 5 to 10 inland areas all the way down the coast in the Charlotte County, again out of the northwest there at Venice. Now, as far as the evening planner goes, looks to be really nice. We'll have just a few clouds around by 11 o'clock with partly cloudy skies. Temperatures dropping down into the low 60s by 11. We'll see upper 50s for lows across most of the area. We'll have the complete weekend weather forecast and take a look at Thanksgiving Day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. The White House has sent Congress a $44 billion disaster aid request that falls far short of demands from hurricane-hit Texas, Florida, and Puerto Rico. The request is President Trump's third since Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria slammed the Gulf Coast and Caribbean. The new installment would add $24 billion to the government's chief disaster account and establish a new $12 billion grant program for flood risk mitigation projects. But the request is already under assault from lawmakers who say it's not enough, and there will likely be attempts to add to that measure.
It's Waterfest weekend in downtown Englewood and Manasota Key. Thousands of spectators are expected to view the 60 superboats racing, some at speeds near 200 miles per hour. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley has more from Englewood.
Good evening from Englewood, where it's all about to kick off shortly here on Dearborn Street with a block party and a parade of the boats. Then tomorrow, it's race time.
I was the youngest ever Class 1 world champion at the ripe old age of 21.
Steve Curtis is a man who knows boat racing well. This weekend, he'll be running the throttle on this, the Miss Geico boat.
These boats are as fast as most sports cars, etc. You know, you can be hitting close to 200 miles an hour, and you can be jumping 20 feet in the air.
Miss Geico is powered by two twin-turbocharged V8s, producing a staggering 4,000 horsepower.
I think you'll find that anyone who's ever done it, you're either scared to death or you're hooked.
And you're hooked.
I was hooked.
Another route that's hooked on the racing is the Lock and Key restaurant. They're right across the street from the beach.
Business is usually pretty good this time of year, especially with Thanksgiving right around the corner, but it definitely takes it to a whole nother level.
This weekend is a huge moneymaker for the restaurant and other businesses near the beach.
To us, this weekend, it doesn't even feel like work because it's a total different feel around here. I mean, they call this thing Race Village for a reason.
The impact of thousands of people flooding into Englewood does have a wider impact, too.
The overall economic impact for the first 2 years has been over $5 million. And so that's not just activity at the beach, that is throughout the community.
But in the end, this weekend is really about racing, and Miss Geico's team is hoping for a winning race.
Hasn't been very successful for us in the past, so we're hoping to change that this weekend.
They'll have an entire team working to keep the driver and throttleman safe at the breathtaking speeds of 200 miles an hour.
The boat is acting at those speeds more like an aircraft than it is a boat, so it's actually hovering on a ball of air.
We did learn today that the two people in the boat actually doing the racing will be wearing oxygen masks to ensure they can breathe if there is a crash. The races will be going through Sunday. In Englewood, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Christopher, thank you. It was a big day for charity at Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota. The Orioles hosting the Mayor's Feed the Hungry program's Thanksgiving Sorting Day. This day bringing together hundreds of volunteers to sort and package donated food items for pickup by churches, charities, and food pantries that serve families in need in the Sarasota and Manatee County area. The Mayor's Feed the Hungry program Thanksgiving Food Drive collects more than 46 tons of non-perishable food items each year.
This is always one of my favorite times of year because people get the opportunity to give back for Thanksgiving or Christmas, and it's just always a great program that is somewhere on the Suncoast.
And they're always giving, that's for sure. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, it's Football Friday night. We're going to give you a look at tonight's lineup of playoff games and a preview of our Game of the Week.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus how hundreds of thousands of people are hoping to raise awareness of a deadly disease, coming up in Health Smart.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
The biggest shopping day of the year is here, and Sunset Fiat of Sarasota invites you to experience the ultimate LBD. Long, beautiful drive, of course, because no matter which model you try on, the Fiat 500, the 500X, the 500L, or the gorgeous Fiat Spider, you're going to love the way you look and feel in your new Fiat. Prices starting as low as $13,999 during the Black Friday sales event going on now at Sunset Fiat of Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Attention travelers, next Tuesday a major hurricane will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency.
Auto Trader recently said Stelvio can spring from a standstill to 60 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds. A segment best. You deserve the best. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Well, we are in week 2 of the high school football playoffs. 5 Suncoast teams are still in it, and 2 will go head-to-head tonight for a chance to reach a regional final. ABC 7's Adam Cellini joins us live from Powell Davis Stadium in Venice with a preview of our football Friday night game of the week, Venice versus Braden River, round 2 for these two teams. Right, Adam?
That's right, Scott and Jacqueline. Good evening. I'm standing here at Powell Davis Stadium. You can see the district championship banners behind me, and if you'll notice, 2017 has already been added to that list, a district championship that came courtesy of a huge win against Braden River earlier this year, back in September, and now it has led to, for the 3rd straight season, a titanic matchup between these teams in the playoffs. Now, Venice is the #1 seed in their region this playoff, and Braden River is the #5 seed, but these teams have an identical 10-1 record. The Indians' only loss of the year was to national powerhouse IMG Academy, and Braden River's only loss of the year was to Venice, but the Pirates have won 7 straight games since then, since September, when Venice outscored the Pirates by a slim 41-35 margin as the away team. Tonight they are in front of their home crowd for the playoffs as the home team, and this is an exciting matchup. We talked to Coach Peacock a little bit just a few minutes ago, who said he's made some adjustments since that regular season matchup earlier in the year.
We don't get any extra points for winning in the regular season. The only thing we get is we get to play in Powell Davis Stadium, which is, I think, will be to our advantage. So that's the only thing we really gain from that. Definitely, you know, if you enjoy watching football and you enjoy high school football, you can have, you know, 2 of the best teams in the state of Florida. And if you're talking about 2 of the best teams in the state of Florida, you're talking about 2 of the best teams in the country. So it's definitely going to be a interesting game tonight, and I'm sure it's going to be very exciting.
Now, for the past 2 seasons, the team that has won the regular season matchup has ended up winning in the playoffs again. We'll see if that continues tonight. Whoever wins this matchup will have a chance to take on another district opponent, Palmetto, who is playing Tampa Bay Tech, the 2 seed, up in Tampa Bay tonight for a chance at a regional final. Also, Riverview High School is on the East Coast playing Vero Beach, who's a number 2 seed in their region. We'll see if the Rams can make a regional final this year. We'll have all these matchups. We'll try to keep you posted on social media as well, Facebook and Twitter. And then check back with us tonight for the highlights and hopefully some of your own pictures if you send them in to us through social media. For now, live at Venice High School, I'm Adam Cellini. Scott and Jacqueline, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Adam. A Suncoast Golf Course celebrating a successful renovation. Heritage Oaks Golf and Country Club in East Sarasota hiring renowned golf course designer Ron Garl to renovate its course. The Lakeland-based designer is working on projects all over the world right now. He says area golfers will find a more challenging and enjoyable experience at Heritage Oaks.
We made some soft changes. We made it more friendly to play. We made it so it would be enjoyable, so you could play a little faster, and obviously improve the conditions and the technical stuff, improve drainage. Look at this grass. I mean, this fairway here, it looks like a putting green. I mean, the place is just in phenomenal shape.
Garl has also redesigned and renovated other golf courses right here on the Suncoast. You can tell he loves coming to this area, and Bob has gotten to know him over the years during some of those renovations.
Really nice guy, too, and a great course. It was always a good course, and now it's a little bit more challenging, too. The greens, a lot more undulation to him, and so Ron Garl has done a lot. I talked to him. He's at 260-plus golf courses across the world. Wow. And he said one hole he did in China, I think $12 million for just one hole.
One hole?
Yeah. It was like the Great Wall of China he had to build, he said. Looking good for golf out there, anything outdoor activities, tennis, whatever it may be. Van Way's a webcam showing fair skies overhead as a result of a large area of high pressure, which continues to dominate the weather now and will do so through the weekend. Now, things are going to change, though, as this front comes down. It looks like late Sunday it becomes stationary, and then a couple of disturbances move through the Gulf of Mexico, which will bring us to some unsettled weather throughout the week next week. 74 right now, and the dew point temperature is at 55, so that's pretty low. That means a nice, comfortable evening for the high school football games, all across the state for that matter, and the humidity, a nice 52%. North winds are at 8 miles an hour, and the pressure 30.02 inches. That's high, and it's been on the rise throughout the last 24 hours. Look for beautiful weather tomorrow. So although we've had to just watch the weather to last few days, how nice it has been. A lot of us have been working, but the weekend, not to worry. It looks to be pretty good on Saturday, too. Just absolutely outstanding out there with lots of sunshine. Lows tonight will drop down into the upper 50s, fairly typical for this time of year. Nothing drastic going on as far as our temperature goes across the state for that matter. Highs tomorrow will once again be into the upper 70s to low 80s in Orlando and also into Daytona Beach all the way down into Naples. And then the low again on Sunday morning will drop down in the low to mid 60s for the most part. Now, as far as the futurecast goes, we'll show you what's going on. High pressure is going to bump off to the east a little bit, so more of a return to southeasterly flow. So although the humidity was rather low today, it will be noticeably higher over the upcoming 48 hours. Here comes the front. Look at that thin line of showers that you see right there. This is Sunday's forecast at 1 a.m. You'll watch this progress toward the Suncoast. It will eventually go through. It will cool us down just a little bit, but that front will not bring a lot of rainfall. So our rain chances are fairly small for Sunday afternoon and into Sunday evening. Behind it, there's some cooler and drier air, but that front gets kind of hung up across central Florida, south central Florida, and then eventually a little disturbance, a trough of low pressure moves in from the Gulf. But for the time being, hardly a cloud to be found across the state. Things are looking quite nicely here. And a different story over parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, and into Michigan as a fairly active west to east pattern continues to bring in showers, a gray cloud, opaque, colorless sky that they are familiar with during the winter. Not so much this fall. And you can see some showers now breaking out into the central Rockies as well. That cold air is confined to the northeast, and with that storm developing out west, eventually it's going to make for some tough travel for a lot of the folks heading back up north for the holidays. So keep that in mind. There may be some delays. 44 in Cleveland right now. It's 40 in Boston. Much warmer, though, over the central U.S., all the way up into Kansas City, 68 degrees now. 84 in Dallas, 64 in Albuquerque, and 44 in Billings, Montana. The forecast for boaters looks to be pretty good, too. We'll have winds out of the southeast, turning to the southwest with a little sea breeze developing in the afternoon, right around 10 knots, and seas at 2 feet with a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now 73, and the beaches will see a high of 77 degrees, and it looks like lots of sunshine out there. Tides upcoming. High tide will be at 10:35 tonight for Sarasota Bay. and another one just after noon tomorrow. The forecast mostly fair seasonal. 59 for your low to start things off on Saturday, and northeasterly breezes. And for tomorrow, absolutely outstanding. Lots of sunshine, 78 mild. Southeast winds turn to the southwest at 10, so great weather for the Waterfest going on in Inglewood all weekend. Looks to be okay, although a brief shower or two and maybe some windier conditions come Sunday with approach of that front. But temperatures staying pretty nice both on Saturday and Sunday. Notice, though, chance for rain on Tuesday at 50%, and then for Thanksgiving and Friday, fairly high at 60%. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Let's get a check of First Alert traffic right now, and the interstate is busy. A lot of people on our roads this weekend. You may have noticed that today, and you may want to avoid the interstate. A lot of red on the map from Clark Road exit all the way north into Manatee County past State Road 64. Jacqueline?
In health news tonight, a medical first as doctors attempt to gene edit a living patient's DNA this week. Sangamo Therapeutics, the maker of the new therapy, used an experimental in-body gene editing treatment on Monday. That treatment attempting to cure a man born with a rare disorder that causes progressive damage to the body's cells. Health experts are calling this an exciting step for a long-awaited holy grail of successful gene therapy that also has a lasting benefit. And health officials are reporting Florida's second case this year of the Zika virus transmitted by a local mosquito. Florida's Department of Health announcing that a case has been identified in Miami-Dade County. Officials wouldn't say where the person was bitten, but did say there's no evidence of an ongoing active transmission zone. Zika causes relatively mild symptoms in most adults, but can cause severe birth defects in babies of some women infected during pregnancy. The virus can also be transmitted sexually. November is National Lung Cancer Awareness Month. As Kim Hutcherson reports, it comes as a good time for everyone to play a part and make a difference for the hundreds of thousands of people who are diagnosed or die from the disease each year.
November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month, a time to bring attention to the more than 200,000 people in the U.S. who are diagnosed with lung cancer each year, and a reminder that more than 150,000 people die from this disease yearly. Despite what many people might think, those cases are not limited to smokers. The CDC says about 80 to 90% of lung cancers are connected to cigarette smoking. Other known risk factors include exposure to secondhand smoke, a family history of the disease, and exposure to certain air pollutants like asbestos, arsenic, radon, even diesel fumes. If diagnosed early, lung cancer is actually highly curable, but only about 16% of cases are caught at stage 1. Doctors hope that raising awareness of lung cancer, along with advances in screening, will lead to fewer late-stage diagnoses. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Coming up, a senior living community center goes up in smoke, the rush to help the patients inside. Plus, a strange time to break out some dance moves. A look at the arrest that police won't forget for quite some time.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
It's the holiday sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKX Sport Utility for $349 per month, or Lincoln's flagship, the 2017 Continental, for $449 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury. Winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41. Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Now to a devastating fire at a senior living community outside of Philadelphia. At least 20 people were hurt, and the cause of the fire is still unknown tonight. The blaze engulfed both stories of the building last night. The first call for help came in just before 11 p.m. Employees scrambled to evacuate their elderly residents, wheeling blanket-wrapped patients to safety.
It's scary. I mean, there's a lot of people that really need help, and they're all out in the street, and they need to be kept warm.
The fire quickly escalated to a 5-alarm blaze, with thick smoke flooding the sky and the roof then collapsing. Right now, investigators believe the fire began in the complex's personal care facility. The National Archives has released another batch of records on President John F. Kennedy's assassination. Today, more than 10,000 records were made available from the FBI for download. More than 8,000 of them are available in their entirety, while another 2,400 were released with limited redactions. Thousands of documents have been released this year by the National Archives, pursuant to the John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Collection Act of 1992.
Well, a late-night police chase in Houston ended a bit strange, with the suspect busting a move in front of the swarming cops. Police say the pursuit began after the man refused to stop for a traffic violation. Eventually, he did stop, and that's when his dancing skills showed off. As officers shouted commands at the man, he started twerking and shimmying across the road. At one point, the man began moving back toward his vehicle. That's when officers released a canine, and that was the end of the big dance party. The man is now facing felony evading charges. I'm sure maybe a bit funny to look at now, but it was probably not a laughing matter at the time.
Not when the canine went charging after him.
Right. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, charges of video voyeurism may yield new consequences.
What law enforcement hope they can accomplish with evidence gathered against a Longboat Key homeowner. Stay with us.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now, 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
Fact: the top 3 Marriott hotels in North and South America are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, according to a recent survey of 363 Marriott hotels. The Marriott at Grand National, the Marriott Shoals Hotel, and the Grand Hotel. And 2 of the top 3 Renaissance hotels are also on the trail: Ross Bridge in Birmingham and the Battle House in Mobile. Southern hospitality still rules. For reservations or information, visit rtjgolf.com/resorts.
AutoTrader recently said Stelvio can spring from a standstill to 60 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds. A segment best. You deserve the best. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.